Historically, pop culture and esoteric traditions draw a hard line between two distinct archetypes. On one side, the psychic, a passive receiver, reading energies and interpreting the unseen. On the other, the witch, an active agent, casting spells and forcing physical change. For decades, these disciplines were treated as separate frequencies. One absorbs, the other projects. Two streams of energy operating independently, failing to ever synchronize. Matt Auryn's Psychic Witch attacks this division as a structural error. The text posits a clear thesis. Separating perception from manipulation leaves the practitioner completely blind. Reading energy and moving energy are not isolated talents. Auryn frames them as two mandatory halves of a single, continuous operational feedback loop. We are going to deconstruct Auryn's system step by step. We will not look at this text as a loose collection of spells, but as a rigid, functional software architecture designed specifically for the human mind. Mastering this integrated loop removes blind faith. It replaces superstition with a systematic, reproducible technology. Most modern practitioners operate from a baseline state of functional blindness. They execute rituals, recite words, and attempt to move energy without actually sensing what they are doing. The text adopts the term noir perception for the ability to manipulate energy without clearly perceiving it. The required alternative is the integrated psychic witch, an operator who works with direct perception of concealed forces, maintaining total visibility over cause and effect. This entire framework rests on a single, uncompromising assumption. Subtle, hidden forces objectively exist, and they govern the universe through measurable patterns. This approach treats magic strictly as an operational physics, completely separate from the psychological self-help concepts often found in modern occultism. Practicing in a state of noir perception is exactly like typing on a keyboard with the computer monitor turned off. You might hit the right keys, but you cannot see the output to debug the system. Therefore, before any spellcasting can occur, the practitioner must first train their mind to read the invisible data streams that govern reality. To read those data streams, the biological hardware, specifically the central nervous system, requires heavy calibration. Auryn treats meditation as a mechanical tool, a means to willfully shift brainwave states away from daily static. The text integrates metaphysical visualization with the terminology of brainwave entrainment, seeking a biological basis for the shift in consciousness. The book requires specific methods to force this biological shift, such as complex breathing cadences. A practitioner might inhale to a rigid 6 count, while simultaneously visualizing the precise phases of the moon. This intense cognitive load serves a specific purpose. It forces the analytical mind to step aside, allowing the subconscious to tune in to subtler frequencies. The foundational step in Auryn's system is asserting absolute willful control over the physical body. The brain itself becomes the primary esoteric tool. A calibrated brain is just an empty vessel. To execute operations, that hardware must be plugged into massive external power sources. Chapter 3 outlines the core visualization necessary to achieve this, extending consciousness downward into the earth to tap terrestrial energy, and upward to tap cosmic, astral energy. The human body acts as the intersection point. The practitioner runs both of these macro energies through their nervous system simultaneously. During exercise 15, they become a localized conduit, pulling the terrestrial up and the celestial down, bridging massive systems within their physical frame. This methodology creates a critical epistemological question. How does the practitioner reliably differentiate between self-generated imagination and genuine external energetic input? Auryn relies on the physical sensory feedback of the process itself. Within this framework, the physical body is repurposed as a literal bioenergetic circuit board. Raw terrestrial and cosmic energy flowing through a circuit is useless if it cannot be processed and specifically aimed by the mind. To solve this, the text introduces its internal software solution, the 3 souls model, dividing human consciousness into lower, middle, and higher processors. This anatomical model has a distinct esoteric lineage. Auryn traces its roots through Victor Anderson's fairy tradition, which adopted its concepts from Hawaiian huna. The mechanical requirement is strict. These three autonomous processors must be forced into perfect synchronization. Auryn uses a highly utilitarian approach to convey this complex idea, utilizing modern pop culture analogies like the combining super robots of Voltron. The result of this alignment generates a supreme energetic state called the witchfire, a chemical-like elixir required for reality manipulation. The system defines esoteric power as the direct byproduct of internal psychological congruence, unifying the primal instinct, the conscious intellect, and the divine purpose. With the brain calibrated and the souls aligned, the practitioner can execute magic using only their internal faculties, operating independently of physical altars or traditional tools. Chapter 15 serves as the practical capstone, where this internal architecture is executed to solve real problems. We see specific operational applications here, such as absorbing an emotion and permanently locking it into a physical object. The spell explicitly maps back to the architecture we've built, requiring specific soul alignments, like the lower self, and psychic skills, like clairtangency, to function. Because these operations occur entirely within the practitioner's biofield, empirical verification is strictly localized to the caster's subjective sensory feedback. Advanced witchcraft, as modeled in this text, relies entirely on robust internal psychic architecture rather than external physical dogma to execute reality-altering operations. The complete architectural sequence from the text's first principles is highly specific. Perception informs brainwave alteration. This allows circuit connection, which enables soul alignment, culminating in spell execution. The final output, the executed spell, directly alters reality being perceived, closing the loop. Psychic Witch presents occultism as a sequential, internal technology. By stripping away the aesthetic trappings, Auryn reduces witchcraft to the disciplined alignment of human consciousness with macro-universal forces. Whether one views this as literal reality-bending physics or a highly sophisticated psychological framework for self-actualization, the system demands a rigorous, uncompromising conditioning of the human mind.